This is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And this is The One Other Thing, episode 27, my friend. My God, do they add up.
That can't be true.
It's just crazy, isn't it? 27 of these.
Wow.
So, welcome one and all. If you are a first-time listener, welcome. Welcome to the family, the Tutor Army, if you will. And if you are a long-time listener, welcome back. Glad to have you with us. And it is, again, Thursday, my friend.
Yes.
I've not seen you since the last show.
Yeah, I mean, this is a show about nothing, and we keep failing at that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I have to admit I am a listener, and I've not completed the last week's episode. I've been busy. I don't know what to say.
It is our longest episode ever.
There's that too. Yeah. And I did note though that I was wearing the exact same fleece, and I haven't changed in a week. I've been wearing the same clothes.
A TV show that one time he goes, "This looks like the same thing I last time, but it's an entirely different shirt."
That's fantastic. I wear like 4 outfits, if that, because it's what's on
called
top.
A uniform.
It is
Yes.
called the uniform. The uniform. I will be wearing the uniform for the rest of the year for certain, but the uniform consists of a pair of khakis, a long sleeve T-shirt, and a fleece. That's what I wear.
Yeah, kind of. I have a similar uniform, but it's not khakis. Usually it's shorts for no matter what, for the most part, and a shirt and a shirt on top of that.
See, I'm one of those people that's just perpetually cold.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it sucks when you live in New York and you're perpetually cold.
Yeah, I'm perpetually hot, which is weird.
Yeah, I ran hot when I was a kid, and that apparently froze out of me.
Yeah, it must be all the caffeine I drink.
There you go. I drink a lot of caffeine. It's not working.
I drink espressos.
Oh, yeah. See, Mickles has asked, for one of our anniversaries, which, boy, I got to get on the stick there. That's coming up. I was asked if I wanted an espresso machine, and my response was, I can't wield that power. I'm not responsible enough to have an espresso machine.
Well, bear in mind, I have the Keurig version of espresso machine. It's a pod. You pop into it, you close it, hit start.
That's even worse, though. You just see me, I'd be shaking like I've had 130 of them today.
It is a lot more caffeine.
Just, like, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah, I can have 2 cups a day. I have one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and it keeps my battery running. That's all I need with espresso. With coffee, it takes more than that.
Oh, I drink coffee all day, every day.
But if I drink Red Bull before playing poker, I'm guaranteed to shake like a leaf. But I noticed last time we played poker, which we played poker a couple weeks ago, and I won the trophy.
He did win the trophy. It just hasn't been. It's been in my house for so long. I almost miss it.
And I realized that I shake more because I do get excited.
Yeah.
But usually I pound the Red Bulls too, and this time I didn't. I had one Red Bull.
I got you.
And then your wife liquored me up, and I was like, cool as a cucumber.
Well, it's hard. I mean, when you get a really big hand and you get that jolt of adrenaline.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is hard.
Yeah.
So, those who don't know, if you're playing poker and someone's shaking, you kind of want to be careful, because that might be because they got something really big and that adrenaline is coursing through their veins.
But you can't trust me, because sometimes I get adrenaline on a broken straight.
Yep.
And I'm like, I got to...
no. Yeah. No, I don't.
1, 2, 3. No. Damn. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess I shouldn't have gone on.
It happens.
Yes, it happens.
It does happen. But we're going to, it's Thursday, and we have not even communicated since last week's show.
No, I could tell you were busy. Usually send me a joke here and there, but...
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, just trying real hard, my man. It actually seems to be working. I can't complain, but definitely balls to the wall lately. A lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, this is kind of my winding down season, because the whole point is getting the school up and running. Before the fall semester. Now it's kind of like you're kind of winding down. We don't really do projects in the winter.
Sure, and you're getting ready for the break, and then they all come back again.
Yeah, and then next year it'll get all crazy.
And then you're getting ready for summer. Summer is your sweet spot.
That's our busy time.
Well, yeah, that's when you get the work done.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna hit my slow down period, God willing, in like 15 years when I stop working.
When it's time to retire.
Yeah, because I'm just all city miles, folks. It is balls to the wall all the time. It's all I know. It's all I know how to do.
Yeah, it's like full throttle. I don't know with you.
I don't know how to half-ass things. It's either do them to the best of your ability or don't do them at all.
Yeah, but it takes practice. I mean, if you let me take you under my wing, I'll show you how to half-ass it.
That's fantastic. I think I might need to learn that, actually. I might need those lessons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's being neurotic as hell helps. So
Yeah.
it's a good combination. But I'm going to jump right into it in no particular order here.
Okay.
I read a little bit of news here and there, and I wanted to bring it up. Well, first of all, PS4 has got a bunch of sales going on right now.
Oh, that makes sense.
Primarily, they have a bunch of games that are like $5 or less. I mean, cheap. I'll be frank, most of those are games that look like they're worth about $5 or less.
Yeah.
However, the Need for Speed is just Need for Speed is like $5 right now, and it's a great game. Absolutely love it. I still have it installed. I haven't installed.
Yeah, I think that the games you buy now it'll continue to work on PS5, even if it's if you get like a PS Plus version.
Nice.
I think they'll still work.
Well, that's pretty
they will.
groovy.
Yeah, so
I didn't even think about that, to be honest, but they're probably tied to your account, so that would make sense.
yeah, I think that So I don't know. I saw a lot of things on PS5 that is making me excited for it.
Yeah.
Do I need it day one? No. Day 2, 3, maybe. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's I think it's going to be you'll buy it when it's available, like when you can.
Yeah.
I did see an article where you can buy a PS5 controller.
Oh, see that the controller would be interesting because of the new features of it.
Apparently, they hit Walmart, so you can find the PS5 controller. Apparently,
Oh,
it's
that's funny.
apparently not as much fun without the game system, though.
Yeah, because it really would just be the same old, same old. It wouldn't have any of the new feature set applied to it.
Well, I don't even know if it'd work with the PS4, but I suppose it would. But
Yeah. I might have to get another controller because I dropped my Xbox 360, Xbox One controller, and it acted funky when I dropped it.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I have a broken Xbox One controller too. That's funny. Send me a link for what you find, what you're going with, because
Well, remember, I go wireless whenever I do it.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I still that's a funny thing, and we may have talked about it on the show, maybe not. And there, I looked at the camera. Good. We're good.
We're good for this show.
Yep, we're good.
And back to us.
Yep, exactly. Episode 28, if you want to see more. But I still behave as if the wire is there.
Yeah.
After a lifetime of conditioning, even though I have a wireless controller, I will still move my leg to accommodate the wire when I'm getting up, and it cracks me up when I do it because I'll catch myself doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's just no wire there.
Someday you're gonna trip, and you're like, how?
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
How did I trip over nothing?
Phantom wire. That's what it is. It's like a phantom wire.
A phantom wire.
It's still there. Years of conditioning. So the other thing I read was it was a teaser kind of article, but it basically said that whole Bethesda purchase with Microsoft there,
Yeah.
that there were inklings of something where they may not be supporting all systems.
Oh, they might be pulling at maybe new games. I could see the new game. They already have some established contracts.
I mean, not for nothing. Microsoft spent a lot of money
Yeah.
on that. You got to do that at some point if you're Microsoft, don't you?
Yeah. I don't blame them. I mean, I have a PC, so it's not going to bother me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you'd said there early on, that's not going to happen. They're still going to release, and I'm like, we'll see.
Well, yeah, the asterisk was not with any games that's coming out anytime soon because there's already contracts in place.
Yeah.
But like Starfield, which is supposed to be their space version of Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
When that eventually comes out, I bet you that would be Microsoft only.
Okay.
I can see that, and I'm fine with that. I'll play that on the PC anyway.
To your point, you talked about the Microsoft XXX series, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
The latest one having that package that you can do the computer version as well and just have access to the games. I forget what they call it.
It's Game Pass, but one's like PC Game Pass and the Xbox Game Pass and Ultimate Game Pass is on both.
To point, man, that's getting rave reviews. People are loving that, saying that's like game-changing kind of stuff.
Yeah, think about what you spend.
That was a pun intended, by the way.
Game changer. Well, just think about what you spend in a year, and we can spend $10 a month, and play all these games day one. They come out, they're released.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't. I don't. One reason I haven't done it yet. I got a back catalog.
Yep.
Once I catch up on back catalog, which I'm trying, and you'll see in this episode, I've been trying hard, Ringo.
Wow.
They've been trying hard to catch up on my back catalog. When I catch up, majority, there's gonna be some really old games I'm not gonna get to, but like the modern games I purchase, I'm gonna get to those. Especially this next Christmas break or whatever. I'm just gonna hit all those games. But once I catch up, then I'll get the Game Pass.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense. And it's the same reason. I think I said, I don't know if I said it on air or I mentioned to you, but I saw Red Dead Redemption 2 on sale the other day, and I'm like, boy, that's a good price. I'd actually buy that. Yep. And I'm like, nope. not doing it.
Yeah.
I don't have the time.
I don't know why I bought it. I did buy it like $10 off, so I could have waited, and I played it about 2 hours of it. I loved every minute of it, and then the game starts opening up, and you're oh yeah, this you can tell why you're playing the game. When you first play it, it feels very claustrophobic, but that's because it's a tutorial mission.
Yeah.
Then once you get to town, you're like, oh, I can go anywhere.
Yeah, I can do whatever I want. Yeah.
Whatever I want, go anywhere.
Yep.
And I spent the next 2 hours just dressing my cowboy up.
Of course, because as one does.
Well, you can't go out venturing until you look the part.
Well, sure, you got to make sure. That's very important.
Yeah, so that's what I did. Just like a normal Grand Theft Auto game, I had to worry about, my vehicle, my horse and my, clothing.
And your cosmetics, yeah.
Cosmetics needs to be, I have to look unique when I go out cowboying. That's a new word. Cowboying.
Cowboying?
Cowboying.
It's now a verb?
A verb. I want cowboying.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, that game is just going to be, it looks beautiful. Everything I've read about it is just like, holy crap, you need to play this.
It's fun and realistic.
And I'm just like, I'm going to lose myself forever.
Yeah.
So, it's on the list.
Yeah, plus that game would be hard to like multitask with.
Exactly. I want to devote. Yeah, that's a game you want to devote where like, okay, you are the primetime show.
Yeah. But yeah, I played it and it was really cool because it starts out like in a winter scene and footprints and everything. It's like you're there.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I did enjoy for the couple hours I played it, and I do recommend it. But
just so many games.
Yeah, I'll get to it myself. So I shouldn't have purchased it like 6 months ago, but I did.
It happens. Yeah, you like. I think I dare say I have more patience than you do when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah. There's some things like can't wait because you know what? We're 30 days away from Cyberpunk 2077. It's gone gold. It's happening.
I did not pre-order that yet.
You don't have at this point. Doesn't matter because you just order it and download it. But I just get it from GOG Games because they get 100% of the money. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm gonna get the deluxe edition where it kind of comes to your house and installs it for you.
Installs it for you. Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what it is. It's gonna be a download, for me. So I'm ready for that. That's my kind of game.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be your Christmas break, actually no, that's gonna be Thanksgiving, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's gonna come out mid-November. So through Thanksgiving, I took Thanksgiving week off of work. So
I'm amazed that hasn't been delayed.
Has been delayed to this point. Oh yeah, no, they said it's happening finally. They said it's gone gold there, which is the lingo saying we're done. The final version's been written.
Okay, nice. Yep. The gold image. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it because that's definitely my kind of game. The
I
RPG,
don't even know what kind of game it is, but I heard RPG, I heard sci-fi, and
investigations.
Then they threw in Keanu Reeves, and I'm just like, well, shit, you had me on the first two, really, but okay, now you're just landing on thick, and at that point I was like, I don't even care what kind of game it is.
And I think you could potentially romance Keanu in the game, so that got a lot of people excited.
It's fantastic. You were one of them, weren't you?
Come on, he's a human fountain of youth.
It's Keanu.
It's Keanu. I don't care what you say.
Well, I literally wrote down one other topic other than our usual, what are you section. But then again, we've said in previous shows, this is kind of all just what are you.
That's my list.
Wow, you got a list. I don't think you come with a list now.
Well, it's probably similar to yours. It just it's typed, so it just looks pretty.
Oh, I got you.
Really, it's probably the same thing you got there.
Well, this was a great story. I don't know if I've told it on the show. I don't think I have because it's completely inappropriate. And if I haven't offended you yet, I will. I'll apologize now, but. It's just funny how life works, and what I mean by that is it's a nerdy story. It's a game system story. So I got a Nintendo Wii, and you get it and you set the thing up, and you make your own character that is you and stuff like that. Yeah. And one of the things you do is you name your Wii. So I named my Wii, and I make myself laugh. I'm telling myself jokes constantly. So I name myself my Wii something, but it doesn't matter because seriously, who the fuck is going to see that? I don't plan on playing online anyway. Who's going to see that?
I think I set mine as default. The Wii. I think it's called Wii.
Yeah. So like, who's going to know anything about it? See, that's a great plan too, folks. But this is where your strategy goes wrong because one day your house gets broken into and they steal a bunch of shit, amongst with I have to say, they're very selective too. They took like
Yeah.
my Wii, but they left like a quarter of the games. They're like, no, that game sucks, and like, no,
So they picked which game. So
yeah,
as a kid then.
yeah, with that, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I thought just got laptops. I didn't know about the Wii.
so the police are at my house doing the whole thing. They're literally doing the Prince thing and all that, and they ask a question that seriously, how would they even know to ask this? They're like, well, when you get a Wii, you name it. What was the name of your Wii?
Oh boy.
And I'm like,
Never thought I'd be
really?
asked.
And Mickles is next to me, and we're a room full of police officers. It's my living room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? You need to know that? She's like, yeah, it'll help identify if you ever plug it in and go online. I'm like, it was retarded.
Sorry. I didn't know the story.
I mean, seriously, I never thought that was going to come up. Like, and I think I'm witty. It was retarded.
How'd the room take it?
Oh, everyone died. They were like, that's the greatest thing ever. And Mickles is punching me. The punchline with Mickles is usually the same. It's violence.
Okay.
But
I get that.
and it's one of those, she's punching me and laughing too because, people didn't see that coming. But
Wow. No.
I'm just like, how have the gods arranged this one? God damn, that's funny.
Oh, it's like it has a lisp.
I didn't see this coming. So yeah, that's the story of how the name of my Wii came. I got to say it to a group of people and how you should be careful.
I've known you for how many years and you've never told me that story?
Isn't that a good one?
Yeah, it's a great story. You
Yeah.
shouldn't be holding that one back.
Because yeah. So my apologies to anyone with any kind of mental illness or mental handicap or whatever is the proper PC nomenclature that I'm going to fuck up anyway. So that being said, yeah.
That's just, I don't know, I like it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know the name of my new Wii. I'm hoping it didn't ask me.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I do things like that, though. I leave little surprises for myself, like all over the place.
Yeah.
I'll just funny naming conventions and things like that.
Yeah.
But anywho. Yeah, so that's my retarded story. I know I read some other gaming news too, but I can't. I'll be damned if I remembered any of it to write it on my list. And I don't know about you, but that's a new trick I do where I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to add that to my list. And then I get back to my list and I'm like, yeah, nothing. It's gone.
Yeah. I think the only gaming news that I was into is the the alpha or beta release of Baldur's Gate 3. And it just looks like a blast because one, it's the original Sin people, they already knew they could make a good RPG.
Mm-hmm.
But then they take this and they apply it to the story we know, the environment, the D&D, I think 4th, 5th edition, I forget which D&D rules they're using.
Yep.
And then they go and you can push people, you can be in different levels and you can have advantage on levels too when you fight too, and it's turn-based, and I'm like, it really screams like it has a way more, it's more than original Sin because you can the playing field matters more. So for strategy,
terrain's making more of a difference.
And it sounds like a blast, and I can't wait till they release. Right now, when you play the game now, it's only part of the game, so I really want to play it really bad.
Yeah, but
I want to wait too.
Yeah, it's only chapter 1, I think.
Yeah, so I really want to play the game.
Did you ever play through Original Sin? It seemed like a good game, but
I played through it, most of it, and I think it's a good game. I wasn't into the lore. I never really could get into the lore.
Okay.
And I might give it a go another time because it was a well-made game.
Yeah,
and
it looked beautiful.
It was cool, but it had some bugs. I would get stuck. But this one, I know the lore.
Yeah.
So I can tell I'm gonna be more into it.
There's definitely something to be said for that. I don't know what it is, but having grown up with D&D, knowing the rules at some level, like I know what Thaco is.
Yeah.
It's handy.
Yeah, it's like you grok more, of how the inner workings is going to work.
I love how you use grok too. Have we even talked about that? That's a
no, it's a Stranger in the Strange Land.
Yeah, it's Robert Heinlein book.
Nerd.
Great book too. I definitely recommend it if you.
I don't read.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you knew how to read, it would be a great book for you to read. I've read that actually within the past 5 years. It's still a great book.
Yeah.
And grokking things was just having a thorough understanding of something. I mean, understanding it inside and out. And that was the term grok. I don't know so much it's ever been used anywhere else, but
No, but if you Google grok, it's been only used in that book, so it shows right up.
oh, that's fantastic.
Exactly what it's about.
Yep. And it's just this thorough, complete comprehension. And I love that you incorporated that into your lexicon, my friend.
Because I think it's a great word. That and capital. I think capital should be used more. I'm having a capital day.
Oh, okay. I was going to say as in currency, or
yeah, no, capital. I'm feeling capital. I'm going to take that word back. And grok. I think those are two words that should be used more often.
You got it, Governor.
Governor. I feel just capital. I'm just like, it's a great word.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a positive word.
I think you should use it because people don't generally understand what you're saying to them anyway. So what do you have to lose?
Yeah, not really. Yeah, that's definitely the truth. But I like using grok because one, if someday somebody's going to get interested in what does that mean, and they're too embarrassed to ask you, so they'll have to Google and they're like, oh,
That's fantastic.
That's what I'm hoping for, really. But yeah, I understand the word, and I think it's useful to explain that you really, really, really understand the rules.
My boss referenced a Kobayashi Maru,
Oh,
and I was like, "Wow!"
wow.
I'm like, I don't
He
need.
cheated.
I'm like, I don't even need to Google that one.
Yeah.
Sadly,
Yeah, you have to be a certain old age group to understand.
I did.
Kobayashi
I have to
Maru,
admit, though, I did Google it just to confirm. But
Oh.
I'm like, is that really? I'm like, yep, that's good
the,
reference.
That's the simulation that Kirk cheated.
I'm like, good reference.
Yeah, no trick stuff.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's the unwinnable exam.
It's funny though. I wouldn't think I would know that level of lore, and it would stick. You know, once again, it's just proving I have no control over what I do and do not remember. It's just random.
Well, I think it's been used in like pop culture since then, so it kind of like it's more. It wasn't just isolated to that one, episode of the Star Trek movies.
Did it grow a beard?
Did it grow a beard? Yeah, Spock. The show got better. I'm just saying. And Charlize agreed to watch Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was worried. I'm like, because I'm going to introduce her an old show that could be campy. Is it going to suck, and for how long? And I looked, and thank God, season 2 is when he grew the beard, so we don't have to wait that long.
Nice. How many seasons was it? It was on for a while, wasn't
it was like 9 seasons. It wasn't like 10, but it was.
That's a lot, though.
It's a lot, But I haven't seen it in such a long time. I remember parts of it. And I remember Will Wheaton, you just wanted to punch him, and thank God he wasn't in it, very long. I think he left too at the second season, so that's probably why the season was awesome.
Okay.
So
I don't really remember too much of it, but I know it was on all the time.
it was on, and I don't know. It's just like I watched a show called Angry Joe, and there's a guy, and he just convinced me. His name is Alex, and he's like his favorite show ever, and he goes, "You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it."
I mean, it's got Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart's fucking awesome.
I
I don't
know.
care who you are. That dude's amazing.
Yeah, there's some cool parts of the show. I guarantee it's not be as campy as the Babylon 5 I watched. So I think it's be easier to watch is what I'm trying to say, even though it's 80s.
Yeah. But again, I mean, Patrick Stewart alone, that'll carry it.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch that than Red Dwarf.
Well, yeah. I mean, Patrick Stewart's awesome.
Yeah.
But I do love Red Dwarf. I love me some Red Dwarf. It's funny as hell. But there's a lot less episodes of Red Dwarf.
This one's going to crush you.
What?
I'd take Star Trek The Next Generation over Babylon 5.
Well, of course you would.
I would.
I wouldn't, but
Patrick Stewart all day long.
Patrick Stewart's awesome.
would kick Tron's ass.
Tron was awesome. I don't know.
Actually, Patrick Stewart wouldn't, but he'd be like number 1, kick Tron's ass.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
And that would
'Cause
be it.
That guy, yeah, Riker's huge,
So,
Destroy
yeah,
him.
Riker would kick his ass.
That's awesome. What are we talking about?
Yeah, who knows? So, actually, yeah, that was my list as far as, pre-what are you topics. But what's on your laundry list? You got so much stuff there. I'm intrigued. I'm dying to know.
Well, my list is pretty much what are you? So I got what movies I've been watching, what TV I've been watching,
okay.
what I've been listening to.
Okay, so what are you playing, buddy? I think we start there.
Okay,
what
we'll
have you been
start.
playing?
Games I have completed. Well, it's only one game.
I was gonna say, Jesus Christ, wow, it's been a week.
But here's my problem. Games are like movies. So I played a game called Evil Within 2.
Okay.
And I played it, and I looked at my save games, and I played it to chapter 7 or 8.
All right.
And there's 14 chapters. So I go to play it again. I'm like, well, I can't start there. I have to start all
Of
over
course
again.
you do. Yeah.
Because there's a story. So I have completed Evil Within 2.
Oh, nice.
And I can give you my honest opinion of it. It is, it's a sequel.
Okay.
as in sequels go.
Okay, so not as good as the first, but was it
The story is not as good as the first.
worth watching
It's
or
the game.
playing?
It was interesting. I would say the story, because the game really is more story than gameplay, if you ask me.
Okay.
Even the first one was more story than games. Because even then the story play was more important because the story is trying to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah.
And this game, the best moment in the game was like, do you remember Beacon? Here's some things from Beacon from the first game. I'm like, oh, this is the best part. So when I realized that was the best part
The
of the sequel,
flashbacks to the first
flashbacks to the
game.
first game, I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But the game is worth playing because it was a better made game. The game itself was better, but the story wasn't as good. There was more.
Okay.
There was
Then that makes sense.
a larger sense of horror and urgency in the first game.
Okay.
The second game didn't really have. It had a couple moments of something chasing you, and you're like, I gotta get away, or I'm gonna die, and it would just suck your soul out of you. But
That's the key, though.
Yeah.
You have to care.
yeah,
Like, believe me, lots of games have done the chase scene, but
Yeah.
if you don't really care,
yeah,
it's not the chase scene. The giant boulder coming to get Indy is never scary when you're just like whatever. But if they can loop you in enough to where you're like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. It's not even my guy anymore. It's like I gotta get out of here. It
Yeah.
makes it great.
But I will say that if Evil Within 3 comes out, I will play it because
I was gonna ask.
this wasn't. I'm not saying there was a big pile of steaming garbage.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
It looks good, too.
It just wasn't, and everything about it was better. The weapons were better. It was just more interesting. That it became more of a zombie game.
Yeah.
Though, so you had a lot of zombies chasing you in town and stuff like that. So
I honestly can't say if I have Evil Within 2, but I want to say I do. I definitely have the
Maybe.
first one.
the first one definitely awesome game. So and another part, there's one part that really disappointed me in the game, in their storytelling, because they stole, in my opinion, a whole plot point from a much better game. Tell me if this rings a bell in any other game you've played.
No, I love
And I
it
know
already.
you played it.
It's Mass Effect.
No.
Okay.
But you're close. It's one of my.
I just like
it's one of my
guessing with
top
no
10.
clue
It's in my
whatsoever.
top 10 games. So you get to this guy, who is a psychopath,
Mm-hmm.
and he likes to murder with art. So art is murder to him. So he murders with art. So
Okay, yeah.
he
So
paints his
exactly. So they stole the Bioshock thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bioshock. They literally the same.
Was it
everything
creepy
beat
as
for beat.
fuck? He couldn't have been as creepy as Bioshock. Bioshock really nailed that.
Bioshock nailed it. They really got the disgusting factor of the murders in this one. That's what the game is. It's more bloody than
Okay.
anything. So, for example, he loved to take these pictures in the game, which freezes time. So he'd shoot somebody in the face,
Yeah.
and then take their picture, and then you would go and find them, and they'd be slowly spinning in this weird box, and with blood shooting out of their head, and then reset.
Yeah.
And then it would just keep redoing that
Yep.
over and over again. So it definitely had the gore version down, but I'm like, yeah, this is gory, but Bioshock did it better.
Yep.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is Bioshock, right? This is the Bioshock scene.
It was creepy in Bioshock.
Yeah. Yeah, Bioshock had atmosphere. It
Yeah.
was just dripping with atmosphere.
Exactly. Yeah. It had an air and it was just that was well done.
So yeah, I was actually glad when that sequence ended because to me it dragged the game down.
Sure.
Because it wasn't a short sequence in Evil Within 2.
Okay.
You had to fight this guy for many levels and chapters, and he kept on getting closer. Then he got further away. It was the whole Princess in Another Castle kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so you eventually get to him, and you literally shoot him in the face. And I'm like, oh, and that was easy.
Nice.
It was like that wasn't hard at
Yeah.
all.
Were you cheating like hell or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
But still shooting this guy in the face with one bullet. It shouldn't. That's
Oh,
not the
no,
cheat.
no. I hear you.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
That was I shot you guy in the face, and that was it. There wasn't anything creative.
Yeah.
So, but again, it was a good game. But if the first Evil Within was an 8 or a 9, depending on how much it scared you, and this one was probably 1 or 2 notches below that.
Okay. So that's where you're weighing in. You're going to give it
Yeah.
a 6 or a 7?
A
Then?
6 or a 7, or a high 6.
Okay.
Yeah. 6 is probably too low. It's a more than above average game. It's well done. In fact, I probably would like the game a lot more if Evil Within never existed. The first
Okay.
game. Knowing the first game existed takes us down a notch.
I got you.
unfortunately.
So it's somewhere around the 7-ish area,
Yeah, it's 7-ish, and the other one's closer to 8 or 9 because the opening scene.
That
man.
opening scene alone, man, I'm telling you, yeah. that just makes that is worth the price of admission. I definitely have to go back to that one day because that was
Yeah, you're gonna have to start
so
over no
good.
matter how far you got. Cause
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Like, because you have to, because it's like a movie. You need to know how it progresses to
I
that point.
fully agree, and that's what I meant earlier by you have to invest in some games.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why we avoid the Red Dead there because that's not I'm going to play for a bit and then I'll play some other games. I'll come back to this. No, you're going to be in that.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing when you've been away too long. I don't know what the magic number is either.
Yeah.
But there's a threshold, and once you cross that, it's like shit. Now I got to start over.
Yeah, it's like I got to start over, and fortunately, it didn't take that long to get back to the same chapter. So the game doesn't feel very long.
Well,
And
I
the
mean,
first
keep
game
in
felt
mind
way
too,
longer.
it's all the little things that
Yeah.
you got hung up on the first time that now
Yeah.
you just breeze right through, so
Yeah.
you don't think about it. But
Yeah, because you do have deja vu, and you're like, oh, I know how to get through this.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I knew what to expect in the first 8 chapters. I'm like, oh, I already know I can, because you end up in this town, and I already know where to go.
Exactly. Things like that. So those little efficiencies you don't realize, but they do add up.
Yeah, so it went much quicker. So my goal this month is still the Halloween month. My next game is going to be Metro Exodus because that's considered a horror game, but we'll see. I did purchase that game. It was on a pretty good sale too, and I like the first 2 games.
Okay.
And I kind of like the story, and it's basically a zombie game.
Yeah,
when it
they're
comes
fun.
down to it.
Run around shooting things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
good
you're
things.
Russian.
Yep.
So that's cool. So yeah, that's it for game.
So that's cool.
So that's cool.
It's cool to be communist and shoot zombies.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yes. So that's that's it for games for me.
That's awesome.
Any games for you?
Yeah, actually, I have a little to talk about. Actually, there's something bothers me. I'm going to jump to music for a quick second.
Okay.
We talked about Fleetwood Mac the other day.
Yes.
And, I'm going to run on a tangent on this one.
Yeah.
I keep getting there. It's now a thing. The Dreams Challenge on TikTok. It's just basically people doing weird shit, singing to a little bit of Dreams, drinking cranberry juice for some reason.
Yeah. Ever since this guy did it.
Yeah.
And then Mick Fleetwood repeated it.
And you thought I thought that was the pinnacle. I saw
Yeah.
what possibly would be the pinnacle. I'm afraid somebody might be in trouble, and I hope they're not. But it was I believe it was an army dude, but he's drinking his cranberry juice and he's doing his sing along, and then he pans the camera and you realize he's actively parachuting.
Jeez.
And I was like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's hard to top.
Drinking cranberry juice up in the air. That's
The thing that bothered me is you mentioned the chain. And I'd actually said a quote, something about, oh, I love that Time Put a Spell on You That You Won't Forget Me. That's actually from Silver Springs. I love that song too.
Oh.
And I applied a line to the wrong song and it bothered me. But I did go and watch that LA Mirage video that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
The parents are fighting.
It was an awkward.
Yeah.
But they did actually. The music was good though.
But I think it was one of the best versions of the song because of the passion.
It was definitely awkward though.
Yeah, they were singing at you, but they were facing each other at multiple points while they were singing on stage.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
And that's when I looked and right in the comments, at least when I watched the first comment, it goes, I feel like I'm watching mom and dad fight in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry to jump for music for a minute, but I'm telling you, that's the kind of crap I obsess with. I'm like, oh, I applied it to the wrong song.
Wrong song, yeah. I got a lyrics thing to talk to you about too when we get to my music.
Oh, fantastic. What were we talking about? Games? So I'm playing basically Need for Speed Payback, which is that one that just came out. And, it just came out. Just came out as far as free on the PS4.
Free. Just free. Yeah, free. It came out to the perfect price.
I literally have to say, and it's unfortunate to say this, I got to say, I think it's my least favorite in the series. That being said, it's all right. It seems to be a bit grindy unless I'm playing it wrong. But you seem to have to do a lot of races. I think I kind of figured out a trick, but we'll see. Either way you look at it, though, you're cruising all over the place, doing crazy shit in cars that you wouldn't normally. And it's just, I'm surprised at how much I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy it.
I don't think I ever played a racing game where I would do this in real life. I don't think I ever thought that in any kind of racing game.
Yep.
Especially Mario Kart.
I actually have a trick for this one race, and it just makes me giggle because it ends up it's a race against one other guy. And this is awful, but it's great. I have no idea how close they are when it comes to racing me, because the first thing I do is I T-bone them, or I ram their side basically, get them sideways, T-bone them, flip them over, and then I take off. And that messes them up so much that
Yeah.
it takes them a minute to kind of recover and turn around. And that's my current winning strategy.
Yeah.
You just ram your opponent pretty much off the road first chance you get.
I kind of did that in the Spectrum parking lot once. That's another story.
Oh, that's fantastic. But yeah, so I'm playing that. I'm mostly playing that actually because I know you can play it now. So
Yes.
if you ever want to play that, let me know and we can make that happen.
Yeah, I did click it so I can just download it anytime I want now.
Yep.
Because you have to, I don't know, there used to be a rule where you had to click on it before the 30 days is up. But I don't know if that's true anymore because now when I look, I can see games from like last month too.
Oh, can you really? Because I get reminders like, hey, you better go do it.
Yeah, I feel like that they might have relaxed a little bit, at least in like current month and last month kind of thing.
Well, there is a weird overlap period too, so you might be in that. But the weird thing is they send you that reminder whether you've done it or not.
Yeah.
And I'm paranoid, so I'm like, oh shit, did I forget to do it? And then I look, I'm like, I already did this. Just making me.
Yeah.
You're speaking to a crazy
I must
man.
have free games.
Yes, exactly. That's my favorite game out there
my
is
favorite
collecting free games.
Yes.
I don't even know what Epic is giving anymore. I just go on there every week and get it.
It pops up and
I don't even look at what it is. I'm like, but I love that game.
It looks interesting, but I'll probably never play them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're doing an Observer remake, and that just made me say, boy, Observer was one of those free games on Epic, and man, that game looks good.
Actually, I installed Observer and started playing it, and it looks like my kind of game, but I don't have time to play it because that one requires a lot of. It's an investigation game, so you really have to pay attention to what you're doing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not like shooting. It's not like Doom. Doom, you can shoot and drink coffee at the same time.
It's a pay attention to detail kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. So yeah, so that's all I've been playing. Not a lot either. Just again, been busy.
Yeah.
But what are you watching?
What am I watching? All right. So
Everything.
Everything. So let's start with movies.
Wow.
So I watched several movies, many of them, and most of them are the horror genre, but a couple aren't. Let's talk about the two that isn't horror. One called Enola Holmes.
Oh, we watched that.
It was terrible.
It's got Millie Vanilli Bobby Brown in it.
Yeah, number 11 was in it.
I really can't believe that's her name.
Yeah. Bobby Brown, yeah, I know.
It's Millie Bobby Brown, but I call her Millie Vanilli Bobby Brown because it's more fun that way.
Wow. And the movie had a horrible, horrible, horrible plot hole in it, and I couldn't get over it.
Which was?
I'm like, what did the mother's point? What did she serve at all in the movie at all?
I was only half paying attention at best, and I guess I just really wasn't.
You didn't care, and you know what? The game. I think the movie really went out of their way to make you not care.
I have to admit, I didn't. It was a nice movie, though. Like, there were pleasant sounds coming from that side of the room as Mickles watched it, and I probably played Need for Speed.
Yeah. I actually regret it. I was excited because Superman was in it, and he served like just about no point, and nobody had a point. Really.
I'm upgrading him, I think, to The Witcher.
The Witcher? Oh.
I think I am.
Superman
it does
becomes The
happen
Witcher?
on occasion.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm going to upgrade him to the...
Especially if Witcher 2 comes... Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Props to him.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill? Is that
Yeah,
it?
Henry Cavill.
Boy,
Yep.
how the fuck do I know his name?
I know.
Way to go, Witcher.
I know. Yeah. I know. Gotta go with The Witcher. It's easier. Well, I remember from the Tudors, he was, his number one guy.
Okay, Tudors was good.
I
That was a
actually
good
like
show.
that
Yeah.
He ended up killing him at the end, which
Um,
wasn't good because it was the biggest regret of his life, he said. Henry VIII.
I know we watched it, but
Yeah. It was a good show.
he was married to the widow next door. That's something
Jesus.
different.
The other movie I watched, which is on CBS All Access, is called Console Wars. And that is worth watching.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, basically, what takes place in, from the 70s up, about the very first video game, and said, hey, here's a couple little dots bouncing back and forth, and they show the father of video games, and he
Pong?
goes, I think, and he actually has a black and white video, I don't know why it's black and white in the 70s, but apparently this was in black and white. He goes, I think this will make him money someday.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And you're onto something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I forgot how many billion-dollar industry the game industry is now, but it's, it's more than 5. I think it's like 15 or higher billion-dollar industry now.
2020 is going to be breaking all sorts of records.
Yeah, because everyone's playing their games.
Yep.
So then basically, in a nutshell, this story, Console Wars, is the story of Nintendo, of how they took a giant chance of creating a video game system on the tail end of the Atari bomb that took down many companies. and the whole ET thing and the whole landfill stuff, and Nintendo taking a chance, and then Nintendo becoming this monstrosity, this jerk who their unfair business practices where they say, "Oh, you want to sell our stuff? Yeah, you can't sell it if you want our stuff."
Yeah.
So they were like unfair, and then the story of that, and it was a good story, and people from Nintendo were really passionate about Nintendo, and they're okay with what they did. We have no problem until the government got involved.
Oh, I don't think Nintendo deserves to be in business, quite frankly. They've made such poor business decisions that just karma and fate should have them out of business at this point.
I thought it was just because of the PlayStation thing, but I didn't realize that they should have been out of business back then. And they're lucky that Sega made bigger bad choices. But in the beginning,
it's the world we live in, folks.
Yeah, it's where they outdid them. So basically, the story then pigeoned. I don't know. Leapfrogged into Sega of how they started, and they go, okay, who's going to go against Nintendo? They have 95% market share, and Sega did, and they did it by making fun of Nintendo, and they market it because Nintendo marketed toward preteens,
kids,
and Sega says no, we're not gonna go after that market.
Yeah.
We're gonna go after teenagers and adults.
I think that was a smart move too.
And they made fun of. I saw I was really young at the time, so I didn't really see all these commercials, but they were like really dissing Nintendo, and they show kids in malls and stuff, saying that Nintendo's for kids and Sega's were what we want to play.
Yeah.
And then Walmart was another company who refused to sell Sega because of the deal with Nintendo.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So Sega went to the headquarters where Walmart was, and purchased every sign on the road for Sega and built a store in front of Walmart.
Oh, that's great.
Place Sega here. And they got so big so quickly because of all that stuff and how everyone thought it was awesome that Walmart goes, yeah, we'll sell your stuff.
Okay, nice.
So they broke into the market, and there was a time when Sega itself was outselling Nintendo. Okay. It had more market share, and it was lasting pretty good until the American version of Businessman and Sega, the Japanese were listening to them. At one point, they just stopped. They're like, we're not listening anymore, even though they're the ones that said, let's do this, and it made a difference.
Yeah.
And then Japan was like, no, we're not doing that. And then, Super Nintendo came out. And then
Genesis.
And then Genesis came out when NES did. So it was NES first, and Sega came out right after that. Then SE.
You're forgetting Master System.
Well, in this video, this is what they showed. They showed when in the mass market, they showed NES. Then they showed Sega Genesis. They actually sold Sega Genesis, and then
Genesis
right after that
came out. We'd have to check the timeline because Genesis came out closer to the Super Nintendo. It may come out first, but
it came
Master
out first.
System was the competition from Sega for
and I don't think
the
that
NES.
Yeah, I don't think that broke the thing until they came out with Sega Genesis. That's what took the market share from Nintendo. And then Nintendo's like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. We're coming with a Super Nintendo that's better than yours. But then what really made it bad, and they're showing all the TV and everything, showing all the market and what happened to it. And what really hurt Nintendo was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
When Mortal Kombat came out.
When we couldn't rip his spine out, it sucked.
Yeah, they were like, so, and then after that, the war. So right now, Sega was on top. Nintendo wasn't number one anymore. Although, the SNES was a better machine.
It looks so much better. The graphics are so much better on it.
But they didn't have blood.
Yep, they definitely did not have blood.
Didn't have blood. So that's when Sega started making the Sega Saturn to come out to combat the SNES being better. So they started making the Sega Saturn, and that's when things started getting bad because Silicon Graphics, big huge company, was making awesome movies and CGI and movies. Went to Sega and said, "Hey, we have a new CPU for you guys. If you want to use it, it'll change everything." And the guys in America said, "Let's use it." The guys in Japan goes, "No, it's a waste." Nintendo 64 has that chip.
Yep, of course. Yep.
So that pretty much took down Sega.
64 crushed.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. It's an amazing game system.
Totally crushed it. But then at the end of the story, this is worth a watch. This console, I don't think you hit me.
Okay, good.
I think it's worth a watch because then they showed the decision that led into Sony PlayStation.
Yep.
And how that came about.
Did somebody lose their job? I hope so.
Yeah. So basically, and they showed in the end, what did they say? Like Sega, I forget which model it was. Sega at the time of the PlayStation 1, what was that? Sega Dreamcast, and then
and then
Nintendo 64. Right. And then the Sega Dreamcast sold like 15 million units. And then they showed Nintendo sold 30 million units. And then they showed like
PlayStation.
like 200 million
Yep,
units.
exactly.
Like totally
Just crushed.
destroyed everybody.
Yep.
Everybody.
Great
So,
system.
so it was a fun watch. I enjoyed it. It was like an hour and a half. It was a full movie, and I really enjoyed it.
PlayStation 1 was a good system.
Yeah,
It was.
great system.
You know? Yes.
So that's what I watched, Console Wars, which I highly recommend.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, that was worth watching because it was just fascinating. Because I don't think I was alive back then, and I didn't realize all this stuff was happening.
Is it a horror because of the graphics?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
look at
it's the best graphics ever. No, it's cool because it was like I can understand why my brother ended up with a Sega Genesis, you know, and because he was the right age at that time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, that's the cool one to
That's
get."
the cool one. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah,
Marketing. Yep.
and it'd be so funny that when Nintendo 64 game it came out, they were saying the exact opposite thing.
Well, remember
Nintendo's
too,
the cool one,
Yeah.
and
Remember too that Street Fighter changed everything. I'm telling you, because before that the Genesis had only the 3-button controller. They had to come out with the 6 for Street Fighter basically, and Nintendo had that natively.
yeah,
I simply bought the Super Nintendo because it looked better.
yeah,
It was that simple.
It was a cool unit. Well, Sega, they got really stupid because how many people really would buy the Sega Genesis with the pad? Then you put the Sega CD next to it, then the Sega 32X on top of that.
Oh,
It was a
yeah, it's
monstrosity
crazy,
by
yeah.
the time you're done with it.
Yeah.
My brother had it all.
It's awesome.
It was just crazy. It was a monstrosity. So they had it all and they screwed it up.
Mhm.
They had it all
Yep.
because they were making more money than Nintendo at the time. And Nintendo, they're cocky sons of bitches, those Nintendo people.
Yeah, it is crazy. They do make crazy mistakes, but
Yeah.
again, they've got a lovable group of characters there. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, but I can see why some people would say, "Hey, that's more preteen in market that they're after."
oh, absolutely.
And Nintendo said, "Yeah, we're not changing what we're doing.
They
We're
cater
all-
to family. Yeah, always will.
And you notice they really haven't changed that game.
No, that's their market.
Yeah.
Although it's funny because that's not really their market still. You
Yeah.
know, like there's still more adults playing games than there are kids.
They are, yeah,
Yeah,
like that. What's that game that everyone went crazy for? That you're just farming. I forget that farming simulator that came out with Nintendo.
Oh, Harvest Moon, that thing?
No, that Haley likes it.
No idea what it is. It's a farming
Switch.
simulator. Are you sure it wasn't like a Facebook thing?
No.
Because people, I know people like maintain their farms, and God, I have to say, any of those games that require me to check in constantly, like where it's a
Yeah.
requirement, it count me out. You know, like if I get rewarded for checking in daily, I'm good with that. But if it's a requirement, like just count me out.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, that's the one. Damn it.
Oh, that's not the highest selling game. It is 22.40 million copies. Mario Kart is higher. Deluxe, 8 Deluxe.
I can tell you, I haven't played
26
Animal
million.
Crossing, but Mario Kart's probably better. It's a great game.
Yeah. A lot of people love Mario. So, yeah, people are probably yelling, like, it's Animal Crossing, you dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't actually gone back to Mario Kart at all. I haven't played that in ages. In fact, last time I played that, I think was with you. You were
Yeah.
whooping my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So what else are you watching, Mike, man?
All right. So then I decided I saw this article. Some people, I don't know if this was a college thing or this magazine, that decided to hook up heart monitors to a bunch of people and play a whole bunch of movies.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I saw that list.
Yeah. So it must have been on
The
yeah.
fucking
I forget who did it.
what the hell is the name of that monster? It's a single, the Boogeyman or
Boogeyman,
no,
Candyman.
No, it's on the list. It's one of those. The Babadook.
Babadook, yeah, he was on the list. So,
I was surprised. I was like, really? I didn't think he
Yeah.
was that good.
well, it's now I can tell you with absolute certainty, just because it had the highest heart rate. Because I watched the number one movie with the biggest heart rate, jump scares ever. It doesn't mean it's a good movie.
Okay, fair enough.
And here's the funny part is, like, I went and watched this movie, and I'm like watching the movie, and within 5 minutes, I looked at my wife and I go, "Yeah, we've seen this already."
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah,
That's great.
So the movie's called Sinister.
All right.
And that was the highest one where it was considered mathematically the scariest movie ever.
Yep.
You know, they're talking Exorcist. They're going back and watch, they watch all these horror movies. And Exorcist wasn't on the list as far as some moments that was scary.
I was going to say, that's more of a slow burn. Yeah, I don't think that's your heart is racing
Sinister is an Ethan Hawke movie, and it's
that is scary.
yeah, it's a solid meh, and there is maybe 2 jump scares in it. My heart did not go up at all in this movie,
Okay.
so it didn't do it for me, and I was sad that I watched this twice.
I'm sure Ethan Hawke's a nice dude and all that, but yeah.
He's a smart dude too, so he wrote a lot of the movies he's in. The good ones, like the rom coms.
I haven't seen the good ones.
The good ones, like the Midnight, the one where he's always arguing with a girl. Remember the one that there's 3 movies. Like
I know what you're talking
before
about.
Before midnight, after dinner, after lunch.
After 6.
Yeah. Those are good movies.
I think
actually
Michaels
like them.
has watched them. I have not.
I like them. But yeah, they're basically.
I would, but
rom-coms.
I'm a dude.
Yeah. Sorry, people.
Just gonna resist.
But anyways, you ever seen the one? She hated. I took Charlize to the theater to see a horror movie with Ethan Hawke where the whole world is vampires.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to get out of being vampires.
Is that Until Dawn or something?
It's not that, but it's
dark?
I don't know. After I liked the movie, but no one else I was with liked it at all. They thought it was
I saw that movie.
They're going to get coffee, but it's not coffee; it's blood because the whole world is vampires. I liked it. I thought that was a cool twist.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, not good.
Okay, so I'm not getting. So now I'm going to start getting into the better movies now that I watched.
Okay.
So far it's been Console Wars is all right, but the other movies kind of sucked. Charlize we watched next after that a movie called the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. And how was that?
And it was meh plus.
Meh plus, I like that.
Yeah, because I like the concept of it. The actor was great, Brian Cox, great actor. You ever seen Cox?
I'm trying to think.
He was in Rob Roy. He's been in a bunch of movies. If I show a picture of him,
I'm sure I'd know him, but yeah.
Yeah, Brian Cox. But anyways, it was a pretty interesting story because, basically they're nice people, basically, performing an autopsy on a murder victim that was found in somebody's basement. And as they start working on her, things start happening. It's
like paranormal such?
Paranormal stuff.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I love him. He's great. He's the father in Succession.
Oh. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I would call him, the father in Succession. But yeah, he's good.
He's a great. So yeah, he's a coroner in this, and so it gets crazy. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, they shouldn't have worked on her. I'll put it that way. It did not end well.
So she did not like being the autopsy.
No.
So I guess she wanted to be cremated.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure that would have helped.
Okay.
Yeah, they tried and it didn't work.
So
it was very bad.
Boy, that's interesting. So does Jane Doe kill everybody?
I don't want to spoil anything.
Oh, that's great.
But it doesn't. Yeah.
Is it worth watching? Oh, Meh plus, you'd say.
Meh plus. So it's worth if you got nothing else you feel like watching.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you would regret every moment of your life for spending some time watching this movie. You'd be like, all right, that was all right. That was a solid. You would give it a solid meh.
Okay.
You'd be able to make it through it. It's not like a bad movie where you're like, oh, I gotta turn this off kind of thing.
Well, with you anyway, I have to subtract like two grades
scores.
anyway. So your Meh plus equals lands right in the don't bother.
Yeah, don't bother. And then after that, I watched a lot of movies this past week. Charlize was like, I'm in the mood for like a sci-fi horror. I'm like, okay, I'll find you a sci-fi horror.
I like how specific she was.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, here's one. And it's called The Endless.
Ooh.
It's a newer movie. And basically, it's a low-budget movie, filmed like in a backlot, and it was genius.
Nice.
Absolute genius.
That's a recommendation if ever I heard one.
Yeah, it was quirky. Apparently, the director-writer, they want to save money, so there's 2 directors, or 1 director and 2 writers. I forget how to go, but they're basically the main actors, too.
Sure.
So it was just, and they're well acted. I mean, there's nobody in the movie you recognize. Yeah. I mean, they're all like, people that they all friends or something.
I'm telling you, dudes, I always root for the underdog.
Yeah, there's a lot of, so what, basically it's, the whole movie takes place in a camp that a lot of people thought was like a suicide cult.
Okay.
But, so these 2 people, they're brothers, used to live there when they were kids. So the one brother just wanted to visit, because they got a videotape from one of them. So they just wanted to revisit to see how they're doing. And it's not a super slow burn. It's actually pretty decently paced. But when it starts unfolding, what's happening, and is it really a suicide cult? And then I think the tagline is these people in this camp are maybe more sane than you first realize.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's
interesting.
It's an interesting. So I don't want to give any more of it, but it's worth a watch. It's definitely way better than the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Okay.
Definitely.
The Endless. All right.
The Endless. I highly recommend that one. And this one, I recommend it, and it's a hard recommendation for me because you had to read.
Oh my God,
I know.
words.
It's a Spanish movie called The Platform. And that movie was interesting because apparently they have a prison system that is, I'm not going to say how many floors it is because that's a plot point, but let's just say they know of like 100 floors.
Okay.
And it's a square with an open hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And every day you wake up, and every month you wake up in a new floor. And what happens is, in the very top floor, they fill it up with food, and it slowly goes down one level. And by the time it gets to a certain floor, there's no food left.
Yeah.
So then people end up like, you can't really change floors on your own. You can't climb up. You can jump down. Some people jump to their death and stuff. So it's really crazy of what people do.
Okay.
At this point. So it's a horror in the way of like, this is disturbing but interesting.
Yeah.
Of why they would even do it. And the main character volunteered to go in there. He wanted to quit smoking.
Nice. I get it. I want to quit smoking. It is so hard.
Yeah, I know. So if you watch this movie, you're like, would you do this to quit smoking? Because like I said, every 30 days you wake up in a new floor, and some days you're in a top floor, some days you're in a way low floor.
I'm pretty certain what I need to do to quit smoking is sever my head from my body.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty certain that's the only thing that's going to work.
I swear they did it on purpose when they made the shit.
But they did, in fact.
Yeah,
they really did.
But the movie is, I find it interesting. Yes, it's actually Spanish. I looked it up. It's in Spain. It's not Mexican. It's Spanish.
Not Mexican. That's great. No one's speaking Mexican.
No one's speaking Mexican.
Fantastic.
This is pure Spanish. But I found it very interesting. I could see some people made kind of a point, and I don't think they drove it home really hard. Where if everyone just ate a little, it'd make it all the way down to the bottom.
Of course, yeah.
So I could understand.
Yeah, but human beings aren't that capable of that.
Yeah, so that part I think was a little preachy. But if you take that part out of it, it's really creepy of everything that happened and what people did. So
yeah, but there's more than ample resources. Yeah. I mean, let's face it, symbolism. There's more than ample resources for all of us rodents on this planet. If you don't even have to distribute them equally. I'm not saying be a socialist and everybody gets the same amount, but the extremes are too extreme.
Yeah.
The poor are too poor, the rich are too rich. There's more than enough resources for everybody to have a much higher quality of living.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, we'd all have to be adults.
Yeah.
And therein lies the rub.
Yeah. But the best part of the movie is when you go into this platform prison, you're allowed to bring one thing in with you. Anything you want.
Okay.
And the main character brought a book.
Good choice, I suppose. And wouldn't be my first one.
And everybody's like, "Yeah, brought a book." Other people, knives, guns,
short-sighted,
swords.
What would you bring? I already know what I'd bring.
Me, the key out.
The grappling hook.
Yeah, grappling hook. Yeah, some way to get out of there,
or at least get up.
Yeah, get up higher. I wanted to be on the first floor, But the movie is definitely worth a watch. I think it was. A lot of time I've seen a bunch of Spanish movies I like. So I think this was.
I did too. I saw. Boy, I'd have to look up the name of it. I want to say it was like Dream Dealer or Sleepwalker or something. But it was neat. It was basically people, and it was a dystopian kind of future thing because I could see this being a thing. But people would go into this basically warehouse in Mexico. They'd hook on this VR helmet. Next thing you know, they're controlling some robot somewhere around the world doing construction.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy because they'd stay in there for long periods of time and they'd like dope them up and they'd keep them working. And it was just, they were being oppressed was the whole purpose of the story. But it was some fascinating technology or direction technology could potentially go. I could easily see that. VR controlled construction in hostile work environments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, that seems not so far-fetched now.
That's not at all. Implausible. It's I liked it. It was a neat thing. I'll have to look up what the name of that one was because I don't know exactly. But okay, the Endless, the platform, it's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely recommend those movies.
You read? Oh my God.
What?
You read?
Oh, I had to read the whole movie.
Or do you have no idea what it's about? It's one or the other. They were doing stuff.
They were doing stuff.
Moving,
No, I know what it's about. All right, so that's the end of the movies. Now on the TV.
Okay, wow.
I've been busy.
Yeah, you have.
So my mother recommended a TV miniseries that came out in like 2002 or 2003. It was called Rose Red.
Okay.
It turned out to be a Stephen King story
Okay.
that was basically his take on the Winchester Mansion.
All right.
So the story, the story of the Manchester in California that the Winchester woman kept building and building and building.
Yeah.
And there's actually a horror movie called Winchester, which is terrible. I would say this is slightly better than that.
Okay.
My mom, I hate to talk bad about the show, but I didn't really care for it. I thought it was like, if you didn't tell me Stephen King wrote it, I could have told you that Stephen King wrote it.
It ended with a big
It
spider.
had the beats. It just, I mean, the ending was all right, but it was a who's of somebody who's gonna be famous in 5 years. It was
Okay.
actually kind of interesting in it.
In all the wrong ways.
Yeah, I was like, these guys. It had the freaking bad guy from Silicon Valley in it.
Okay.
And he played some door.
It's funny. I know him from Big Love, but
I know him, Big Love. Yeah.
yeah, I can't think of his name right now, but it's an E. It ends in an E. I want to say Opie, but it's not Opie.
Opie.
Um,
Yeah, there was a lot of people in it. So the movie, I would say it's a 3-episode TV series, and it was okay. I mean, it definitely is a solid meh for me. I can see why my mom liked it. I mean, it was lighthearted. It wasn't too serious.
I can't remember the lore exactly. So she kept building houses or building rooms onto the house so the ghost didn't get her. They couldn't find her. Was that the gist?
I think that's the gist of it.
Yeah, I think that was the.
Yeah, it had the 3 Men and a Baby chick.
Yeah, I don't know her.
That guy. This guy, you don't recognize her, but she's actually the chick. No, that's a chick in 2.5 Men.
No, I never saw 2.5 Men.
There's what's his face from Silicon Valley.
Yep.
His name is Matt
Gavin,
Ross.
Gavin
Gavin.
Gavin is what he is in Silicon Valley. But
Julian Sands. He was in tons of horror movies. Kevin Tighe. I think he's in the Lost movie, a TV show.
why are we doing it on our iPad and not that today? You're like, screw the enhanced version.
Look, no enhance. This is
That's as enhanced as you get.
this is the hands you get.
Um,
Well, yeah. So it was all right.
Yeah.
It was all right.
solid.
I mean, they didn't call the so it wasn't even scary, but it was interesting. Ghosts and seances, and yeah, it was all right. I've seen better. I'm also started watching a show called The Third Day, which is a mini series, HBO or Showtime. I forget which channel it is on.
I love anything they make on there, really. But
Starring Jude Law.
okay.
And there's a real place, I think it's called O Island or something I think it's in Ireland. And he goes there for some reason, but it's a real island that when the tide's up, you can't get to it.
Yeah.
The water covers the road in.
Yeah.
So he ends up getting trapped there. And things start becoming weird. People are starting wearing, masks with, horse heads and stuff on them and chasing him. That's all I know so far. But it's really kind of creepy. And I will get through that. I'm about 2 episodes in now. I think it's 5 or 6 episodes.
That sounds like a fun time, though.
Yeah, so it's definitely a slow burn.
So,
But
can't he? I don't know, swim?
He's got his car. Oh, and cell phones don't work on the island, of course.
Yeah, you do realize like cell phones are literally invalidated. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 40%, 60% of the movies, the
Yeah.
horror movies we grew up
Yeah.
with, because now it'd just be like, oh, you just call somebody.
Yeah, there's always a reason, but they never work in the horror movies, the cell phones. They
Right.
never work.
There's that.
They're always out. So that's an interesting show. And then I'm also watching American Horror Story 1984 edition, which is basically 80s slasher version. I like it a lot.
Okay.
It's so 80s. This is like, Michael Myers mixed with Freddy Krueger, mixed with Jason Voorhees all together, and I find it entertaining. So I like it.
Okay.
They're killing people in this. To me,
I know you love the retro stuff too.
I know, and it's one of those things. It brings me back to the 80s because when I watch those movies in the 80s, they never scared me. They never. In fact, some situations were just funny.
Oh yeah.
And I know it's weird. I'm watching these people getting murdered, and I'm like, that is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that's how you went.
That's great.
Because you're being stupid or something. I'm like, you deserve that.
Yep. You should have seen that coming. Yep.
Yeah, so I find me laughing more than anything when I'm watching the show.
Okay.
So I find it hilarious.
Well, you have been busy.
Oh, yeah. And then we started another series called Penny Dreadful.
Oh yeah, we've watched Penny Dreadful. It was okay. I liked it.
I'm about 3 episodes in, and I like how they do the reveals, like, and not, it shouldn't be too spoilerly because it's right in the very end of the first episode. He goes, and they do this on purpose where people are talking, and you don't realize they never say their names.
Yeah.
And then right in the episode, he goes, I'm Victor Frankenstein. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I get where you're going.
Yep, exactly.
So I don't know. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, so
We enjoyed it.
there's apparently a second version out that I haven't seen. It's like a Penny Dreadful 2.0.
Oh, is that the one with?
I didn't see it.
I think we might have tried watching it. It's got Orlando Bloom in it, I want to say.
Oh, that probably ruined
and
it.
there's like some fairy things going on, and yeah, we just didn't care.
City of Angels.
Oh, maybe that's not it. I don't know.
Penny Dreadful City of Angels.
I don't know if we've seen that. But Penny Dreadful was good. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, I might give that a go. That's a second
I don't think
version
it
of
was terribly long, Penny Dreadful.
Yeah.
I think it was 2, 3 seasons, maybe. Wasn't very long.
All right, so now I'm up to my favorite show that I watched out of all this.
I think all you did was watch movies and TV since last I saw you.
I didn't do much, yeah. The show that I happened upon on YouTube, and you can tell why it just sucked me into it. Just sucked me in. Everything about this title will suck you into it too. Brian Johnson's A Life on the Road with Mark Knopfler.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
It was fascinating. One, Brian Johnson's awesome.
I don't actually know who Brian Johnson is.
He's the lead singer for AC/DC.
Oh, I do know Brian Johnson
Yeah.
is. Okay.
So the lead singer from AC/DC
Oh,
is going back in time and discussing how Mark Knopfler got to where he is.
That's awesome.
And it's fascinating. They're just walking around like old. They're a couple old coots now.
Yeah.
Just walking around this village that Mark is living in now, and I was like, okay. One, people have told me that Mark was a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
It really is.
This guy, and I only know one other person that can do this in my life, but this guy sees all lyrics. You can tell him a song from 1938, and he was singing to Brian Johnson word for word.
Oh, nice.
This obscure song you've never heard, and Brian's like, "Oh my God, you remember?" He goes, "Yeah." When I was a kid, I would sit in front of the radio and just stare at the radio and learn the lyrics.
Yep.
He knows the lyrics for everything.
That's great.
Everything he's ever done. And there's only one person I know that could do that. This man right here.
I wish I could remember useful information like I do song lyrics.
Oh my God, he knows everything about every song lyric. This guy is a genius. He plays the guitar wrong. He's just.
It's my kind of wrong.
Yeah,
Dude's awesome.
He's got some newer albums out. When I say newer, like post, early 2000s, that are awesome.
Oh yeah.
They're worth listening. I need to go and listen to all of Mark Knopfler because I like, he tells stories. He's,
I have a couple just of his solo albums. I mean, I huge fan.
Bob Dylan-esque kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating. And so I if you have any interest in like, how Dire Straits started and what that's all about and what happened after that and what he did when he got famous, he basically backed off because basically in a nutshell, he's like, I got to the point with Dire Straits that I'm on tour with a bunch of people I've never met.
Okay. Wow.
And then there was a day when I say, "What do you do?" Oh yeah, you work in construction or the boom operator, whatever. They would sit down with each other every night and talk. But then at the end of Dire Straits, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't know who these people were, and I didn't like that."
Yeah.
So he quit.
Good for him.
He just quit. So it's just a fascinating.
I get it though. It changes, and
yeah.
it wasn't what it was when it started.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so once he got he's like, I'm okay with the money, he said.
Yeah.
But the fame, I just no. But then he showed him spots in his hometown where Mark is living in now, and I don't want to give too much away because it's really worth watching. But Mark didn't know that they built this park using lyrics to his music. He had no
great.
idea. So all the bricks and stuff were lyrics to his songs.
Oh, that's great.
Because he's like a hometown hero, So
Yeah.
he's like, look, he goes, I had no idea this was here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's
Got to feel good.
Yeah, it's a feel good story. Brian Johnson's a great interviewer. I had no idea, and he has
I'm
a
just
bunch of
picturing
shows.
him like singing like Back in Black, but
Yeah.
asking questions.
Yeah, I know.
Like, did you live here?
Yeah. No, he just sounded like an old drunk coot in this thing.
That's all I can picture.
Yeah. Yeah. So I cannot recommend if you're at all interested in Mark Knopfler, you gotta watch this.
No, it sounds good.
It's one of those things where I turn it on just to see what it's like. I'm like, I can't believe Brian Johnson interviewing anybody. I'm expecting what you expect.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't. I watched all the way to the
Like,
end.
is this your car? Yeah.
It was an hour long, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna watch this to the end now. Might as well. I went to pause it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll stop now. It was like 5 minutes left. I'm like, no, I watched the whole thing.
Actually, I have to admit, and I don't even mean this to be a plug because it's gospel truth, but I think it was Saturday. I was up late, and I was like, you know what? Let me just check a little bit of this show out. I'm like, I'm not gonna really pay. I'll listen to the rest later.
Yeah.
And I was like 50 minutes in,
Yeah.
and I'm like, shit, I gotta go to bed. And that show was ours, buddy.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. I was like, I'm only gonna listen to a minute, and I'm
Only a
like,
minute?
fuck, 50 minutes. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, so when you re-listen to this, definitely, if you haven't listened yet to their watch that episode, and I want to do more. He has a bunch of episodes, apparently. Brian Johnson interviewing people.
Oh, it's great.
And yeah, he's just an old coot now, which is funny. It's great.
Oh, it's
I
awesome.
love the guy.
I
him.
almost don't want to, just because I love the mental image I have right now.
Yeah, I know.
Just interviewing
I
people
know.
like that.
I know. Worth watching, though. Very entertaining as all hell, and it was fascinating because it was very well put together because they, whoever did, they filmed it.
Oh, yeah.
But then they put in all the pictures and photographs and videos interspersed through the whole video, so you had context for everything.
I want to see him interview the man who was struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Were you thunderstruck?
Thunderstruck.
Just going to go on and on.
I know. No. Brian never raised his voice in this thing.
Oh, that's great.
Not even once. But Mark he was just fascinating. I just found him very fascinating.
Yeah, it is amazing talent.
Yeah, it just seeing where he came from and how he got there and, what he was trying to do. And yeah, it was just fascinating. I really did enjoy it, And there was a connection too, because both Brian Johnson and Mark Knopfler started their, because I think a lot of musicians go through that where when they're starting out, they're playing in bars. It's like kind of a drag, and just day in and day out, nothing's happening, and you're playing like dive places for a week or this place for a week, and they both kind of grew up that way, before they became famous.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting. They had so it's almost like two guys that like slowly you watch them slowly become friends through the whole show.
No, that's neat.
Yeah, so it was great.
That is a good interviewer.
Yeah, and then Mark had his guitar with him, obviously, and it was just like I said, crazy guy who like just break out lyrics from songs he's heard once like 50 years ago.
That's great.
And Brian's like losing his mind, and there's one point Brian Johnson goes, "That just got me, man." He's just like,
great.
"Oh yeah." So Brian was like a fan watching him, which was great to watch.
Oh yeah, it's got to be exciting for him too. Yeah, definitely, no question about it.
So definitely watch. That's of all the things I watched.
That's the one you recommend.
Best thing I recommend. Brian Johnson interviewing Mark Knopfler.
That's awesome
on YouTube. So worth checking out. So that's what I've watched.
My God, I don't think you've done anything but watch TV since last time I saw you.
I know.
That was a lot.
Well, usually what I do, and I'm kind of a jerk, I like turn on like at night at some point, I just turn on South Park or Family Guy or some boring crap and watch maybe one or two of something. Mm-hmm. But I made a commitment to just watch like 2 movies a night.
Okay, yeah, well, you've been on your Halloween theme, so that makes sense. Well, I have been watching, for me, a lot. We're still watching The 100. I will never recommend that show.
Now I gotta get through it.
It's no, it's not bad. It's a
solid meh.
They couldn't give less of a shit about science.
Yeah.
So for a sci-fi, I told Mickles that
me.
it's a phi.
Yeah, it's a phi.
There's no psi.
There's no psi.
They just omitted the psi. It's just a phi show.
That I can watch complete crap like that sometimes, but it depends on the content. If they're pretending this is all real, I don't know. I might have trouble getting through it.
For the record, I know there's such a thing as a good show. I've seen them before. And I've cared about the characters.
Yeah.
So I know it's just not me getting older and cantankerous, but I always was cantankerous, yes. So I know that's not it. But I can honestly say in the show, The 100, I literally don't give 2 shits about anybody.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the other show that we're watching. Well, that I watched.
Yep.
And that would be The Haunting of Hill House. Yay, I finished season 1.
The first one. I don't remember. Was that any good? Because I haven't seen that in a year.
You'd actually recommended it to me.
Yeah.
Elliot's Elliot. He was definitely in there.
Elliot.
I can see entirely why you said it's not a scary show.
Yeah.
It's more paranormal. And I'm going to ruin it, by the way. Spoiler alert. I can't really ruin it. It comes pre-ruined. But it is as you get. Like I kind of, there was a moment or two where I thought maybe they're going to pull some awesome ending and I'm going to be blown away.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's face it, at the end, okay, anybody that dies there lives there as a ghost. That's nonsense. Nonsense, I tell you folks.
That's the favorite part about being a ghost.
What was the twist? That everybody hung out in that red room at some point or another and didn't realize it?
I don't even remember. It did not stick with me, the plot.
It was
from a year ago.
It was a solid I wasn't like, wow, you suck, I hate you. But brings me to another point though. But I wasn't blown away either.
Yeah.
They had a chance at being great. They really did. They just didn't get there at all. And now I'm afraid to watch season 2, so I'm not going to. I'm not going to watch The Haunting of Bly Manor because I'm simply too scared. I'm too terrified that it will suck.
Well, that one I watched recently, and I don't know. I like the twist. My mom didn't like it though, if that helps.
Well, you liked it.
I liked it
And
because it was depressing.
I have somebody at work who has something that you will probably never have. That would be, he is one of the few that are on my trusted recommendations list. So when he says, Sean, you're going to like this, you got to watch this, he's right. I do need to watch that. And then when I do, I'm like, my God, this is good.
Yeah.
He recommended Yellowstone to me, and boy,
Yeah.
it just thumbs up, seal of approval. I'm talking about you, Charlie. You, however, my friend, are on the other end of the spectrum. So when you say, hey, I loved it, I've come to the conclusion that you and I just do not agree, buddy, because
So you hate Brian Johnson and Mark Knopfler that much?
that one I might like. That one I might like. But it's a fluke,
Yeah.
broken clocks, my friend. Twice a day. Yeah, I definitely watched The Haunting of Hill House because you recommended it.
Yep.
And I'm going to give it a solid no. No, I'm going to
No.
be like, don't waste your time. I'm not going to bother with the second one because it wasn't really that scary. The best scare, I think, in the show made me laugh because they're just driving along having an argument. All of a sudden, zombie girl jumps out screaming in between them, and I'm like, oh, that's funny because I didn't see that one coming. And I clapped a little because I'm like, oh, that was just, it was kind of gratuitous and completely unnecessary, and I loved it. But yeah, it wasn't that good, and it wasn't a horror when push came to shove.
No, I didn't
It
think
was
so.
just a weird quirk. It was,
Yeah, I never marketed it as a horror.
No, you did say it was more of a paranormal thing,
Yeah.
and it's just.
And I like paranormal stories. I always have.
I just don't believe it, but I like it. I still watch my Nuke's Top 5 whenever he comes out. Shout out to Nuke. I see the video of the ghosts, and we got to do reaction videos sometimes because it's real. I don't believe anything, but I just think it will never cease to amaze me that all of a sudden, oh my God, this page turned and no one touched it. There's so many reasons that could happen. The fact that we jump to must be the dead. That's the one that always kills me. That's the one I can't wrap my brain around. Is how we just make this completely irrational leap at some point to, must be the dead.
It's reasonable.
I'm sure it seems it.
It's better than Aliens.
Yeah, see, why doesn't anybody ever say that? Like, goddamn aliens, they moved my page. You know what's sad is I find the alien story to be a little more plausible.
They're just in a slightly different dimension, just waiting there. I'm
know-
talking about the aliens, not the ghosts.
Yeah, it's just, that one I could almost get behind.
Yeah, like, don't you hate when aliens come and move your stuff?
It's just annoying. Like I said, it just bothers me because they never do anything useful. Like every time I come home, my dishes are done. I can't explain it.
That's why you're never haunted, because they know you're a critic.
Yeah, I think I think they check underneath their bed for me at night.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Oh, one thing we didn't mention when it comes to movies and TV shows is that there's a new movie coming out this week called, I'm going to try to get this right, The Borat Subsequent Movie Film, Delivery of Prodigious Bribe to American Regime for Make Benefit Once Glorious Nation of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that's going to be glorious. Yes, that is going to be a beautiful thing.
I heard it's not as good as the first movie, but still worth watching.
It's going to be worth watching at the very least. That guy's a genius.
I think it's coming out like this. There's some previews, and it's on Amazon Prime.
Rudy Giuliani's all over the news because, he's in a compromising position with that whole thing.
Oh, I got to see that.
Oh yeah, he's basically got a young girl in his room and he's putting his hand down his pants, and now he's claiming he's tucking in his shirt, and it's like, yeah, come on, please. But I mean, not for nothing.
Oh, I got to watch this.
My whole point there is, doesn't even matter if you're listening to Rudy Giuliani at this point. You're as batshit crazy as he is, and we've avoided politics up to this point, and it's amazing. I think we've avoided politics.
Yeah, sometimes.
But Rudy, I don't know what happened to that man. Yeah, he just fucker snapped the tether and he's not coming back.
Yeah,
he's done being sane.
Yeah, he's out to lunch.
Shame
dinner.
too. Just that's something. But anyway, speaking of steaming train, dumpster fire kind of stuff, I heard that they're making a new season of Dexter.
Oh, thank God.
See, that's funny because I'm like, why would you bother?
If they what if they came out with a new season
What
and
are
they
you gonna
go
do?
and
All
no
of season 7 was a dream.
what if they did that? What if they just said, you know what, this is season 7. The season 7 you saw before is nothing.
I would almost appreciate that if they called this one season 7.
Yes, call it season 7. I'll be
And
on board.
it's kind of reminds me of you can't change the name of a podcast after you post it.
I know.
If they pulled one of those,
Yeah.
I would actually respect that.
Yes,
Like,
that'd
no,
be
this
awesome.
isn't season 8. This is season 7. I don't know what you're talking
Yes, I would love that. That would be I'd be all over
about.
that.
Pick up right from the end of
Yeah.
season 6. I'd be okay with that.
I'm still probably gonna watch it, even though they're not gonna be geniuses and do that.
I suspect
I'm still gonna watch it.
I'm foreseeing that he's going to use a lot of axes and chainsaws this year.
Yeah, he's gonna switch up his
Well,
weapons.
he's a lumberjack.
Oh,
now.
because he's up. Yeah, he's up on.
Yeah.
I hope that. Please don't start there.
Oh yeah. Where else are you going to start? I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's okay if he starts there.
or
But
no, they'll start somewhere else and then slowly feed you. Well, I was a lumberjack, and then
Yeah.
this is how I
I'm
became
a
whatever I
lumberjack and
am
I'm
today.
okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. No,
Yeah, well,
Monty Python.
no, he's killing people. He's, you know, that's everyone else.
God, is gonna cut those eggs every episode? 'Cause-
Every episode. Yeah. So that's funny. I was wondering how you'd react to that. So you're a better person than I am. Basically, you think there's, because this is my point. Why bother? Because there's really nothing they can do in any order that's going to somehow redeem them from what they did.
It depends. What there could I always I'm optimistic that
I
they're-
love it.
that
I love your
they're-
optimism.
They're gonna retcon something,
I
and
love it.
I always have the hope that somebody out there is smart. That obviously not the people who wrote that season. I'm telling people that came after and goes, okay,
I don't know how you
I've seen
would
your season
salvage
7.
that.
I'm just hoping somebody out there goes, yes, I've seen your season 7, and I think we can do better. I'm just hoping
Yeah.
somebody out there has a script in their hand.
I'm speechless because I don't think that can be. I don't think you can recover from that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think you could, because they're not saving lives or anything. It's just a TV show.
oh yeah,
But
but
it was a good TV show for 6 seasons.
it really was. I really loved that show right up till I
Yeah.
didn't.
But it's not going to ruin it for me if they come back and, because there's a lot of spin-offs of Happy
Oh.
Days that was awesome.
Well, they can't ruin it anyway.
Yeah.
Job's already done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose from that angle, yeah, why not?
I'm hoping that Michael C. Hall looked at the script and said, "Oh yeah, this is better." I'm
Okay.
hoping because he seems like a nice guy whenever I see him in interviews.
Oh yeah, no, he seems like a great dude. I can still call him David from 6 Feet Under,
David,
but
yeah. I like his name because he sounds like a serial killer, Michael C. Hall.
but
his middle name.
yeah, I don't know. He read season 7 script and did it.
Well, he saw the paycheck and then did it. So I'm hoping.
Oh yeah,
this is not
props
about
to
the
him
money.
too.
I don't
For
think
the
he needs the
record,
money anymore.
I can't fault him there.
Yeah.
Everybody got to eat.
Yeah, he should never have dated his sister
That's fantastic.
because he did.
Oh, I know. That was the legendary conversation Mickles and I had once, where you've been married a long time, where we're driving. We must have been going on vacation or something because I had my mother-in-law in the back seat, and we're driving along, and Mickles says, "Oh, I got a nugget," and I said, "Oh, I read it today." And she's like, "Son of a bitch," and that was the conversation. And my mother-in-law was like, "You guys didn't actually talk about anything." I said, "Yeah, but she learned that Dexter and his sister are married in real life."
Yeah.
And Mickles is like, "Yeah, that's what I learned."
Yeah, that's what I learned. Yeah.
And my mother-in-law's just like, "But you never,
Yeah.
you didn't actually talk."
actually say it.
Oh, we've been married this so long that, I heard something,
Yes.
that was enough. I'm like, I'm already there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you kind of do the same thing with me with video games.
You know what? Can we stop this for a brief moment, as weird as that is?
Let's pause and be right back.
Well, that was weird.
What? I didn't see anything.
Yep, exactly. Technical difficulties, we'll call them, a.k.a. Dinner.
COVID.
COVID. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think we left off with I think we completed the watching section. Thankfully, I only watched one thing, so that made it real easy.
Definitely.
So what do you listen to? You listen to anything good, buddy?
You be the judge.
Probably not, but
Probably not.
Well, you were singing. I'll call it a good song. When you came into my house. So
The Police.
the Police. Yep.
Yes, they're a great band.
The Police.
The
Oh, I included them
Police.
on tonight's list in honor of you, buddy.
Nice. So I don't have much, so this should be pretty quick. I'll start with something that I have a guilty pleasure. I watch X Factor and all those American Idol and all that stuff.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't know what X Factor is.
It's basically American Idol.
Okay.
But in Britain. So I watch all those shows and I fast forward all the ones that isn't singing. I like specifically the singing portions of it.
I didn't realize they did other things. What else do they do?
Juggling, magic.
Isn't that America's Got Talent? Or the same
America's
thing?
Got Talent, X Factor. Yeah, it's only American Idol is the only one that's nothing but singing. But I think all the
Okay.
rest and The Voice is nothing but singing. But the rest are all like could be a mixed mash.
It's amazing
different
there's
talents.
that many of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch, and I do have a guilty pleasure where I don't watch the entire show because I'm not into the whole shows. I'm just every now and then somebody sings, and there's this nervous energy because they're like on stage with 10,000 people.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes you just see someone's like, wow, there's somebody that's going to get big out of this.
Oh yeah.
And it's happened. I've watched people, and then now they make records. This one's a little bit of a sadder story, but sometimes there's a video that I watch, and I watch it more than once because I think that they're just so talented, and these people don't even know it.
Okay.
And just because you're talented and you might even be considered a genius doesn't mean you're going to win the competition.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
you can just go fade in obscurity.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of what happened to this girl.
But just for the record, too, if
Yeah.
you're that girl and you're listening, wow, what are the odds? But
Yeah.
beyond that, so you lost the show. It's not the end of the world.
I don't think it's the end of the world, but this and the age of the internet is so weird because this girl not only have posted all her problems since the show, she doesn't blame the show, but she has problems with suicidal thoughts, attempting suicide, drinking, alcoholism, stuff like that. And it's a shame because she's really talented, and it looks like she's starting to bounce back. So I
good.
subscribe to her video. So her name
Good
is
for her.
her name is Janet Devlin, and she's from Northern Ireland.
Okay.
And she's awesome. So she has, and you wouldn't tell, it's hard to see how awesome she was in her audition, but her audition was genius.
What'd you say?
She sang Elton John's Your Song,
Okay.
and it's not how it's how she sang it. She has a quality to her voice that's very Irish,
Okay.
and it made it a better song. It was awesome. I didn't think she could do that to Elton John song, and it was just awesome. People were just silent
Did
listening
she say
to
it
her.
was her song?
It was her song, yeah.
Because he gave me permission to tell
Yeah.
everyone.
Yes, tell everyone.
That's my song.
Tell everyone. So it was. So that video I watched a dozen times because
I'll check out Janet Devlin.
you can see the judges looking at each other saying, "Wow, this is the shyest little. It looks like a fairy coming out."
Do you know who won that? Who beat out the Janet
I have
Devlin?
no idea. And she didn't even come in she was like 6th, 7th place, so
Was
she
it
wasn't a
William Hung?
finalist. I forget. I forget who it was.
Okay.
But she has since put out. If you go to her YouTube site, she's covers of hundreds of songs. Maybe not that much. Maybe like 30, 40 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done more Elton John songs and Cyndi Lauper, time after time, right?
Yep.
And I know it's hard to compare, but she does a very valiant.
I'm getting better. I'm appreciating that
Yeah.
more. But yeah, there's some where it's just.
I don't consider it sacrilege because I think she adds to it. She's not trying to sound like Cyndi Lauper.
Yep.
She sounds like Janet Devlin singing that song. You can tell this, but she does such a good job because her something about Irish voices.
You entirely cheated there, by the way. You just looked and Janet Devlin did.
Yeah.
You did entirely. I mean, I try to do it subtly with name badges where I'm like talking
Yeah.
to somebody. I'm like,
Yeah.
I so should know your name. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Your name is.
Can I somehow read?
So her story is kind of interesting. So yes, I've watched some of her videos where she's talking about all that because I like the connection sometimes because sometimes I go through rough patches and watching somebody else and how they pull through and what they do at the end.
That's inspiring.
I like it. So I think she's very talented. I think she's a better singer now than she was. I think she was like 14 or 15 when she did the show. Now she's like 22. So she's very young, and I still think she has an opportunity, and you're going to start seeing her in records at some point
Well, good for her.
because she's really good. But she just released a song on her YouTube channel a week ago, and the song was called "Better Now."
Okay.
and you can tell I don't know if it's a cover. It doesn't sound like a cover, but it is a gorgeous song, and it sounds like her fight song, kind of thing. So I really enjoyed it, and it was all in Ireland. And when she did this show, she was like blondish. So I'm not sure what her natural hair color is, but in this video, she's like got redhead, and I'm like, this is so Irish. I just liked it. So that video, I highly recommend you watching that video better now, just because, and I like and subscribe because she deserves any kind of likes and subscribes like we do, likes and subscribes.
Like we do.
Yeah, like we do.
But, on that note,
yeah.
I'm losing my touch here, buddy.
Yeah.
If I'm somehow listening and I want to write in to say, hopefully, what a great show this is, but anything in between, like, hey, this is these are some great horror movies I saw, or some games you should check out, or go to hell, stop talking.
Yeah.
How would I do it? How would I get a hold of us?
Head over to TOOT, Tootcast.net. There is a links page that we have. So if you click on the links page, you'll see that we have all our links. And some people make fun of me for having this page, but I've had two people ask, icons are cool, but an actual link page is cooler.
There you go.
But you can see our YouTube, our Discord, our Twitter, our mailing lists, our email, which is toot@tootcast.net, and our Facebook site.
It's awesome.
So please come and check us out and email us, talk to us, whatever.
And as every show says, seriously, thumbs up, subscribe.
Yes.
It helps. We
does.
appreciate it.
So yes, Janet Devlin, I like her music. It's just has a quality. Her voice has a quality that is.
I'll check out Janet Devlin.
It's just it's very it's her. It's her singing. She has. It's some people have a voice where if you don't have if she ever becomes famous someday, you're gonna be able to hear her voice and say, oh, that's Janet Devlin.
Yeah.
Because she has that
A
quality.
unique voice. Yeah.
So and the other thing I've been listening to is Jack White. And what got me in the Jack White kick was, one, I think he's a genius.
He's talented.
But a couple weekends ago, he was the musical guest on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
And not only did he rock it, but then he brought out a guitar that Eddie Van Halen designed for him. Then he played that in a song. And I remember there's a
That's very
Instagram or Twitter, and it goes, how come you're not singing any kind of Eddie Van Halen or Van Halen songs on Saturday Night Live? And he goes, yeah, I can't do that any of those songs justice.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, so he uses guitar instead that Eddie Van Halen created. It was a cool looking guitar too.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, Jack White can shred. And he did the whole in the middle of the song. He did the whole tapping that Van Halen created. You know, it's just awesome. Worth watching. Even seeing that Saturday Night Live musical guest with Jack White. It was great. It was a great watch. So I got me into some Jack White songs, and I think he's great. And I think I mentioned Jack White a lot. But if you're going to listen in there's a lot of good songs by Jack White. A lot of different bands. He's usually not my taste, to believe it or not, because he's more bluesy than I'm usually used to. But he's starting to get me into it.
Nice.
But yeah, he does have a blues kind of like tinge to his music.
Yep.
So he does have that going for him.
No, that's good. I mean, that's good music, actually. Jack White.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, Jack White.
So I'm going to recommend, and I know some of these are going to be like already in people's greatest hits, but maybe I'll hit a couple songs you haven't heard, especially if it's not the White Stripes. But I'm gonna recommend The Hardest Button to Button by the White Stripes. Icky Thump, you have to. It's a great song. Carolina Drama, he did that with the Raconteurs. It's basically a story. Great song. I love it. Seven Nation Army, you have to listen to that.
Of course, yeah. I was gonna call you out if you didn't include it.
It's must listening for the White Stripes. You have to, and it was genius how he did it, where he because it's a 2-piece band, and it sounds like he's playing bass. He's not. He just has a pedal that lowers his guitar an octave. Yeah, it's just genius, and so it's awesome how it sounds. Simple song, but genius how he had to create it.
Yep.
This is actually a better song. Dead Leaves and the Dirty Ground by White Stripes. That's actually better than Seven Nation Army. You got to listen to it.
I might know it.
You know all these songs.
I was going to say, if I heard them, I think I know all of them.
You know all of them. And this one you may not know, but the reason why it's on this list because he did play this on Saturday Night Live. It's called Ball and Biscuit, and he did that well with the White Stripes too. Highly recommend that song too. But there's many more. but it was starting getting deep cuts. And you got to start here, and if you like it, start digging into his bluesy stuff and he's more folky tone that he has some of his music.
I was gonna say he strikes me as one of those dudes too that works. Like he's constantly producing something, yeah, coming out with something.
Yeah, he has a lot of songs, a lot. In fact, on Pandora, I put up his channel, and there's like 80 songs or something
Wow,
there.
yeah, the dude works.
Yeah, because he's in many different bands, and each band has a slightly different sound to it. And yeah, you can tell he likes creating music. So, and I think he's good at it. And his lyrics, if you Saturday Night Live, there's some FU songs in there with what's going on now. So there were pretty good songs. I really think he's pretty good at writing FU music.
Nice.
So yeah, that's me. White Stripes. That's it.
Oh, well, good for you, buddy. Well, I'm jumping right into the police. I like how you say it too. The old, what is that? Judgment Day or Training Day? Training Day. That's
Training Day.
I'm the police. So I just did the police and Sting. Although I'll be goddamn it, I'm somewhat disappointed. I'm going to do them in reverse order. I know I like Sting's solo career. Absolutely, I'm certain of it. I'll be goddamned if I can think of anything other than Fields of Gold.
I was going to say, but Feels like.
Yeah, I'll be goddamned.
Didn't he? Do you remember that he did that one song where he had an Indian singing with him?
Yeah, I kind of do. Like he did a lot of songs solo that
like
I really liked.
Tantric sex era.
I'll be
that he did.
goddamned, and it's sad. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and no, I can't remember any of them. So obviously I didn't do any research, but in that regard, other than memory. But mad props to, and this is why I didn't bother, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
the police, yes. Sting, yes. I'm going to mention some songs, but yes. Just yes. They're really good. I mean, Sting was fucking in Dune. That's how good he is.
With weird underwear.
And he's also in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, or was it Snatch? He was the bartender in one of them. I think it was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Maybe. But either way, Sting is the shit. And if you don't like Sting, you're mistaken.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. But the police is. I love the police. I always have, always will. You were singing "Don't Stand So Close to Me" when you came in.
I did.
It's great.
Because I just happened to hear it on YouTube yesterday.
Fantastic. My personal I'm gonna go with one of my personal favorites, but it probably is my favorite. I love "Wrapped Around My Finger." That's a fucking great song. But
Walking on the Moon.
I wrote it down. Walking on the Moon. Everything she does is magic. Message in a Bottle, of course. Yeah. And we got to mention it because it's.
That song gives me chills, by the way.
Which one?
The Message in a Bottle, because when they said all the million bottles wash up on the floor, wash up on the shore, that gets me. Yeah. That it hits you.
Seems I'm not alone at being alone. Yeah, it's a great line.
Yeah, so that's a great song because it ends well. Well, sort of.
Saying something about lyrics earlier,
Yeah,
right.
Lyrics. Lyrics. Yeah, so you know the lyrics. I don't know lyrics as much as paraphrase them incorrectly.
Yeah, I like it. It sometimes rains when you send them. Forget it.
No, it does rain in Africa. I'm not the only one who hears that. No.
And you know this, but the Stalker song, "Every Breath You Take."
That's definitely a Stalker song.
It's 100% a Stalker song.
No.
Yep, but unless it's been used for more weddings than you believe.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Is like all these, you're dancing at your wedding. Yeah, you know what it's about?
Yeah, it's like people using Dave Matthews' "Crash." It's like, I don't think that song means what you think it means.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
But this is fun. So "Fields of Gold" as well. I gotta say, man, I fucking love that song. I
learned to play that
so good.
part on the guitar. It's not terribly difficult.
Oh, nice.
I get
it's
that. Actually not very difficult, so it's not too bad.
I can kind of.
I'm not saying he's not a genius. I'm just saying that part was.
I can kind of play like a 7-year-old's version of "I Wish You a Merry Christmas" on the keyboard.
Oh.
Almost. I'm getting better.
Getting there.
I haven't been practicing.
You gotta slow it down a little bit first.
I haven't been playing with that thing anywhere near enough, but let me tell you, it's fun.
Didn't they say you have to have 10 million hours or something in anything to be
10,000 hours?
10,000
Malcolm Gladwell. Yeah, 10,000 hours to be an expert in anything.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking master expert at Diablo.
I gotta be too, because I gotta be up there.
I don't know how many hours of play I have.
When's the new season coming out? It's coming out soon.
It's coming out soon. Yeah.
I know. I need to finish that in 24 hours, like normal.
Exactly, and then power level me so I don't have to.
And then forget about it.
Yep, exactly. I'm telling you, man, it's just like, got to get through this.
Yeah, gotta get through it. It's like a job. What else?
It's funny, actually. I'm going to use this as a segue, and I'm being vague tonight because, honestly, next band, I don't know a lot either. But, Police, King of Pain. Got to mention that song. Yep. Which leads me to Henry Rollins.
Oh, Yeah,
'Cause,
angry man.
Yeah, one of his lines in the song is, you want to be the king of pain, stand in line. And I fucking love
Yeah.
that. So, seems I'm not alone in being alone once again, kind of thing. It's good. But Rollins is, Black Flag. If you're familiar with Black Flag at all, you're familiar with Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the first I heard of him. Yeah.
and yeah, angry kind of thrash, more energy than talent as far as that music goes. But then don't get me wrong, it's definitely good. It's certainly angry music. I'll say that it's energy filled. Um, but that being said, Rollins, his solo stuff, I would say, was even angrier and more refined, if that makes sense. But I really only had one album of his that I loved, and it was Wait. And now hardcore Rollins fans that I knew were like, yeah, that's like Rollins light. Like, and he was fucking pissed in that.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's like him on Sunday.
Oh. Yeah.
And
He's on vacation.
yeah. So, and I have to admit, it was the song "Liar" that is all over MTV, which I played that video for you,
You
not
did.
terribly long ago.
I remember very well.
It's fucking genius. I mean,
Yeah.
everything about it is genius. The way he shoots that video it's entirely worth looking up because I'm telling you, Rollins in the Habit alone is fucking worth it.
Yes.
It really is.
He's a funny guy.
But yeah, it's just everything about that song is just so well done, and it's so much more than it is at face value. But just the last line, "I'll lie again and again, I promise." It's just so good. It's just so good. But that whole album, I freaking love that album. So it's just a couple songs. "Disconnect" is the first song on that album, and it's just great. It's just absolutely great. "Civilized" is another one. I don't remember most of the names of the songs on that album, but frankly, I just love that whole album. So yeah, if you're pissed, you could do a lot worse than Rollins and or Black Flag. And again, it was a fun little tie-in with the police there because of that line.
Yeah.
But going in two other random directions and then some one-hit randomness, I don't know, and honestly, I don't know if I've talked about any of these things before. Maybe I have. Again, I've only got 13 things to say. We're on episode 27. I'm bound to be repeating. But under the heading of rap, I got to talk about Digital Underground because I'm a huge fan of their Sex Packets albums, specifically that period of time. After that, they sold out, and you know what? Unlike Metallica, props to you for selling out. That was the right thing to do. I don't blame you one bit. You never told your fans you weren't going to. You saw a chance for money, and you went after it, and that was that whole Dan Aykroyd piece of shit movie. God damn, I can't remember, but they did a
Miracle
video
Man
for
or
it.
no?
No, it was something about him being like an old guy in a warehouse or something. But yeah, do a search on Digital Underground and Dan Aykroyd, and I'll keep us afloat until then. I want to say it's as good as it gets, but that's an entirely different thing. It's something like that, though. It's a phrase, the movie. But be that as it may, most people would know Digital Underground whether they realize it or not from the Humpty Dance, if they're of our age, which was freaking great.
Oh, I know that movie. I did not see
Nothing But Trouble. What was it?
Nothing but trouble.
Was that it? You see, I'm telling you, man, my subconscious is freaking genius. It's just I get in the way. Nothing But Trouble was the movie they made a video for. It was a piece of crap. They just sold out, and God bless them. Good for them. But that Sex Packets album, that whole album is great. However, I am pissed, and this is the first time I think I'd encountered this, and I was really pissed about this. When you buy the CD, it's different than the tape. The track list is literally missing a song.
Oh, that would piss me off.
And entirely pissed me off. And so, name a couple songs on that album. Humpty Dance, of course. Underwater Rhymes is great. And if you ever hear me talk about MC Blowfish, that's Underwater Rhymes. Freaks of the Industry was awesome. I'm telling you, that whole album was great. But there was a song called Hip Hop Doll. And it's fucking great. I love that song. And it's not on the CD. And I just don't know why, because there's a song called Danger Zone on that album, which sucks. You can skip that one. I'll tell you
Was
flat
that
out.
was that in Top Gun?
You're messing around in the Danger Zone. It's just a shitty song. You can skip that one.
Yeah.
Shining on the Funk's another song, too. That's or Rhyming on the Funk. Oh, it's a good album, I'm telling you. But anyway, but yeah, they leave the crappy song on there and they take Hip Hop Doll off, and I don't know why, and I freaking love that song. But anyway, Digital Underground, Sex Packets is the album. It's good. in a complete different. I don't even know what genre you would call this band, but I'm going to talk about Vampire Weekend. I know you know a lot of their stuff. You've heard it around me at the very least, and I think they're one of those bands that more people might have heard them than they realize. Like, oh, that's them. But they caught my ear because they are definitely doing their own thing. They definitely make sounds I've never heard before, and that's the best way I can say it. Honestly, I think that's why Radiohead why we all paid attention. Because let's
Yeah.
face it, Creep, the bassist does that, and,
Yeah.
and we're just like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, what did you? Yeah, you just made a sound I'd never heard before. And that's kind of what caught our attention. And they're just like that. They're heavy on the violin too, and I'm a huge fan of the violin. Although I'll be damned if I understand where that line between a fiddle and a violin is. I understand it's based on size in some way, but they
Or
seem
how you
to
stand
me
too.
yeah,
I think
don't
fiddle
know.
you have to do it sideways or something,
I don't know.
and you have to dance.
I love all of it. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, you got to dance.
Especially
But
the devil's around.
that's awesome. If you're playing for your soul, you got to.
That's a Charlie Daniels Band reference.
It most certainly was. So, Vampire Weekend, Kids Don't Stand a Chance is the first song I heard by them, and I liked it. It was good. And I honestly, I like almost all their stuff. I really do, because they have a unique sound. But just name a couple. Oxford Comma is very popular. Not to mention, as I think the first line is, "Who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma?" And all I can think is Grandpa. Because let's eat Grandpa versus let's eat Grandpa.
Yeah. Comma saves lives.
Grandpa cares about an Oxford comma.
Jeez.
But anyway.
So would you say you like your violence with your violins?
My violence with my violins. Name a couple songs, though. A couple more songs. I'm just going to ignore you and move right on. Yeah, exactly. We got Step, we got M79, and we got Horchata. And I don't know why. I'm not a fan of the boss.
Springsteen?
Just not a fan.
But
I know.
he's written some great songs.
I agree. He's a very talented lyricist. And as a person, by the way, I'd
Yeah.
love to hang out with the boss. Seems like a great dude.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of Bruce Springsteen's music. However, the Vampire Weekend does a cover of "Going Down." That song.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if that's the name of it or not, but it's fucking great. It is phenomenal. So yeah, I'm a mad fan of Bruce Springsteen's lyrics. I will give him mad props for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just somehow, some way, and it kind of pains me because I'd like to be a fan of the boss, but I'm simply not. I work somewhere else. He's not my boss.
Not your boss. He's not my boss.
Yeah, he's somebody else's boss. He's not my boss. So one hit wonders. These aren't even okay. This is two things here. I don't think either of these guys are one hits, and I'm not even certain either of these are wonders. They're just two songs that are completely random. I only know one song each by these people, and I particularly am fond of them. So the first one is a guy called Matt Costa, and the song's called "Mr. Pitiful," and it's a great song. The video's awesome too, actually. I give this guy mad props. He's one of those people. He just seems to play every instrument. He's one of those obnoxious
I've seen the
people.
video.
Yeah, where he's got the.
You just walk around like I think San Francisco
yeah,
in the video.
it's fantastic.
I know the song.
It's fantastic.
I don't think he's done any other songs.
No, he made that one song and then that
Yeah.
was it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he made an album and it's blank except for the
the one-
like tracks 1 through 3 are blank and then 4 is this
Yeah.
song and then
It's a catchy
it's blank.
song.
But no, it's a really good song
Yeah.
and the lyrics are really good. But it's funny because it's not what it appears. It's one of those like it's so poppy and cheery, but then you listen to it and you're like, oh, that's got a little depth to it. I dig that. But it's got a line that I fucking love, and it's if you don't like the movie, then quit acting. And it's like, man, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that. I really dig that. The other one's I don't know why I like the song. It's melancholy, and I definitely dig it. But it's a dude named Curtis Harvey, and the song is called Medicine. And I don't think he's done anything. I know he made a whole album, but I'll be honest, I did give it a try, but it wasn't my bag. But this song specifically, definitely enjoyed. So yeah, if you're looking for try some new things, there you go. And I think that's all I have for music today. You got anything else tonight, my man?
No. Do you have any shout outs or anything?
Not tonight. I mean, a shout out to, other than the usual, shout out to all our fans. Can't thank you enough for all those thumbs up, those likes, those just being a listener, quite frankly.
Yeah, thank you.
And and then again, we're going to keep doing this, so we love having you along. And well, that's about all I have.
Okay, then I will do my standard.
Oh, look at that! See, we're getting better. We're getting better. I still.
Oh no, we're not done yet. We don't know if we fixed it.
I'm
already.
remiss. Oh yes, I forgot my confession. I was supposed to order the green screen. I have not yet done it. It's on me. So yeah, now the wife can be pissed at me another couple weeks, but we will be doing that very soon, and then God knows where we'll be appearing from. But something to look forward to.
Yeah, we got to figure out. Hey, maybe people can suggest a wallpaper or background or video to put
absolutely.
behind us when we have a green screen.
Oh yeah, and on that note too, if anybody has LLC names, we're interested. But boy, it's tough. The bar's high.
Yep, Haley.
Yep, way to go, Haley.
So is that it?
That's it.
All right then.
Then this is Sean.
This is Kevin.
And that's the one other thing.
Good night.
Fucking nailed it tonight, buddy. I knew we had it in this. Great ending. I love that.